Welcome back. Dave Grohl has a reputation for being the nicest guy in rock and roll. He's the frontman for the Foo Fighters, one of the most successful bands in music history. He's also a middle-aged suburban dad with 3 beautiful daughters. Last week, the band released their 8th studio album and are preparing for a world tour which will bring them to New Zealand in February. Dave, who's now worth a cool $200 million, is riding high. But as Alison Langdon found out, he's got a wicked sense of humour and he swears like a trooper.
It's more Scooby-Doo than rock and roll, I think. Like it has a Mystery Machine vibe to it.
Can you start it up? I want to hear it.
Can you hear it? I'll show you.
You can tell a lot about a rock star by what he's got parked outside the recording studio.
Whoa. That's a beast. Toys and their toys.
And for Dave Grohl, frontman of Foo Fighters, this really isn't that surprising. But these days, he's less danger man, more devoted dad.
See, it's a rock star vehicle, then I look in the back here and you've got the baby seat.
Well, you know, kids got to get to school somehow.
And this is what Dave Grohl does when he's not driving the school bus. Playing to 80,000 screaming fans at Wembley Stadium. Foo Fighters are now one of the most successful rock bands in music history. Just don't call Dave a rock star.
Listen, any rock star that calls himself a rock star is a complete asshole. So there's no way I'll say like, well, yeah, I'm a rock star. I just can't, you just can't do that.
I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
They've performed for presidents.
There goes my hero, the Foo Fighters!
And princes. For Dave Grohl, who found fame as the drummer in the 90s grunge band Nirvana, it's been a truly remarkable ride.
Hello, I've waited here for you ever long.
Or someone says, hey, you want to play Wembley? Can we actually do that? Okay, let's see what happens. And we sell out 2 nights at Wembley. It's like, oh my God.
Well, you were quite overcome at the end of that performance.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't even know if people can imagine.
Yeah.
Going through everything that I'd gone through with Nirvana and watching that band like reach these incredible highs and then just end, and then to have like a second chance was just like, oh my God, it's crazy, you know?
Dave grew up just outside of Washington, D.C. Obsessed with music, he would spend hours listening to records or playing in local hardcore punk rock bands. Were you any good at school?
No. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cuss a little bit in this one. No, I was not a great student. I mean, honestly, like, I'm a high school dropout. No one taught me how to play the drums. No one taught me how to play guitar. So everything that I do, I just kind of do it the way I think it should be done.
When Dave joined Nirvana at age 21, Kurt Cobain was the frontman. Dave was happy up back.
Drumming was great, you know. I had this enormous drum set and really long hair in my face, and I could hide in the back and just beat the shit out of it. But I was barely recognized in that band. I could walk in the front door of a Nirvana show and no one would even know who I was.
Really?
So, pretty much, yeah. I mean, and then I'd go home and like, oh, we sold 1 million records? That's cool. Every once in a while, I'll see like a new young band get thrown into the spotlight, and I look at them and I'll think, God, how are they going to handle that? I actually have sympathy or empathy for Justin Bieber sometimes.
What?
Like, what do you think's going to happen? You just gave a 16-year-old $100 million. What the would you do?
For Dave Grohl, that early taste of success with Nirvana came to a sudden and tragic end when in 1994, Kurt Cobain took his own life.
I stopped listening to music after Kurt died because it was so emotional just hearing it. I didn't want to hear it on the radio. I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to join another band. And then after a while, I realized that it was the one thing that was going to help me get through everything. So I started writing lyrics. I started writing songs, and I went and recorded this demo tape.
Talk about it, carries on, reasons only new. When I talk
A record company called and said, hey, we want to release your record. I said, but what? That's a demo. That's not a band. It's a thing I did by myself in 5 days.
And you played every instrument.
Yeah. So then I started to think, wow, maybe I will try this. I've never been the singer of a band.
Was it a tough transition from drummer to frontman?
Absolutely. It took years, man. It took a long time.
Foo Fighters are just about to release their 8th album, Sonic Highways, a powerhouse journey through the music of 8 American cities. Whether you're a diehard fan or not, and I am, you can't fault their energy. Band members Chris Shiflett, Pat Smear, Nate Mendel, and Taylor Hawkins, along with their frontman, sweating it out even when they're just rehearsing in their LA studio to an audience of 1.
Love it.
We will play that. Thanks, man.
I'm just chuffed we're getting our own personal Foo Fighters concert right now.
We just learned it.
Up next, Dave Grohl reminisces about the good old days and how having children has changed everything.
You think the backstage was crazy 12 years ago? You should see it now, man. Kids could tear up a backstage faster than AC/DC ever could.
we'll play back. Now look into the sky, saving.
Known for their quirky video clips, almost as much as their rock anthems, Foo Fighters have been wowing audiences for 2 decades. They're coming back to Australia in February.
Easy for you to say.
And hopefully this time, Dave will stay out of trouble. Now, just going back a bit, you have a criminal record in Australia.
Yeah, oh man. I do. We were on the Big Day Out tour, and we were in the Gold Coast, and we had 3 days off or something. So we get these little scooters, we start driving, and I see that there's a sobriety checkpoint. And I pull up to this cop, and I'm on a scooter. I thought he'd wave me past, because the thing is like a tricycle, you know? He goes, blowing this, mate. And I blow in the thing, and he goes, you're over the limit, step off the bike. And I'm just like, okay. When I gotta take you to jail. And I said, dude,
Please don't.
I could see my hotel from here. Can I just park it and walk? He's like, sorry, man. I wind up going to jail, which is filled with everyone from the concert like, good show, Dave. I learned my
Even
lesson.
rock stars aren't above the law,
I
see?
tell you, I learned my lesson. I do not drink and drive because of that.
Dave's next encounter with Australia came from an entirely unexpected quarter. When rescuers at the collapsed Beaconsfield mine in Tasmania finally opened up a narrow airway to the trapped miners Todd Russell and Brant Webb, Brant had just one request: an iPod loaded with Foo Fighters songs.
It just, it really blew me away. It really changed everything. And,
They wanted food, water, and your songs.
you know, I think honestly they wanted our record just to drown out the sound of the drilling. But I was flattered nonetheless.
It's a really loud band.
What's gonna make this drilling sound stop? Just put on the Foo Fighters.
Here they come.
There it is. Look, they're back.
When the two men finally emerged after 2 weeks underground, Dave Grohl wrote Brant a song.
I'm going to call it The Ballad of the Beaconsfield Mine.
I wrote this little acoustic piece, an instrumental, that I thought I would dedicate to him.
See, this is why people say you're the nicest guy in rock.
I don't know if I'm the nicest guy. The Coldplay guy's really nice. I don't know if you met the Coldplay guy.
The Coldplay guy, of course, is Chris Martin. Looking at some of the Foo Fighters videos, you could get the impression Grohl is having a crack at his rival. Not so, says Dave.
I've never said anything bad about Chris Martin. We've known each other a really long time, and we've always shared this really funny back and forth. And he actually was the one that connected us with doing this Invictus Games thing that we just did. That was Chris. That was Chris texting me saying, "Hey, is it okay if I give Prince Harry your cell phone number?" I said, "Okay." Like, of England?
And so did Prince Harry call you?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, "Hey, this is Harry." I said, "What's up, man? What do you got going?" And it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Chris Martin.
There you go. That's why we love Chris.
Exactly. He's so great. You want to get inside?
Yeah. Okay. Black and white.
Yes.
All right, pick the mood. What are we doing?
Cross-eyed.
Spending a day with Foo Fighters can be a bit like going to a circus. No one takes themselves too seriously, least of all the ringmaster. Here at Studio 606, their hangout in LA, there's 20 years of music history on the walls.
Look how young you look in there.
I was such a... Will you cut it out with that young shit? What is that, man?
Well, I realize I've
Last
touched a
time-
nerve, so I'm just gonna.
Well, I mean,
keep
come on.
at it.
I know, right? So, look at how young I look there, and there, and there.
Oh, this is.
Oh my God, that's
beautiful.
Violet when she was, 2000. She was about a year old.
it.
The band tours less these days, not, Dave says, because of bad knees or creaking backs, but because they all have families.
You think the backstage was crazy 12 years ago? You should see it now, man. Kids could tear up a backstage faster than AC/DC ever could. Like,
It's a little different to the early days when it was 10 shots before every show.
well, that's what the nannies are for. I'm kidding, that's a joke. But I just want to get home safe now. Like, I just want to play my music and go home.
Home to his 3 young daughters. Well, what happens when they, when they're teenagers?
I don't know what I'm going to say when that first tattoo walks in the house. Or when I find the pack of cigarettes in the back of my car, or whatever it is. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Get a shotgun.
I might already have one.
I'm your fool.
Whether he's playing protective dad
Everyone's got the chains to break.
or rock god,
Holding you.
Dave Grohl is exactly where he wants to be.
When someone get in the bed, the bed to you.
People could talk about the good old days. Well, that, man. This is great. You know what I mean? Like that.
Do you ever think I want to do something else?
Nope. I don't know how to do anything else. This is it. I just love it. It's really, really great. That sounds like bullshit, but it's true.
Thank you very